All right. So let's recap
Sure.
at this point.
Sure.
So I have the impression we're both looking forward to making this project a success, right? For the
Yes,
company.
definitely.
And I would be happy to have you on my team. I really value your expertise. So from my side, to have you on board, my ideal situation would be to have you being the project representative in Indonesia in the short term. And then long term, it means for you have a huge upside potential. It would specifically mean you keep your Singapore salary when you go there, and you're relocated to Jakarta to be close to your family.
Yeah.
I'll be continuing based in Singapore. I will lead a project from there, but I'll be flying in and out all the time anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. So if that's fine with you, we can have a look about.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So for me, it is important though that we also have a quick look at the strategy that we go with.
Sure.
So basically, the M&A strategy that I had in mind, not knowing about the example in the past that you mentioned,
Right.
is that first of all we decrease competition because we can actually buy some of the competition, so be less competitors in the market. Number two, we actually quickly acquired expertise as well because we acquired companies with their knowledge, with their connections, with whatever. And number three, it's actually very fast.
Right.
And actually maybe number four, at this point the companies in Indonesia are pretty much undervalued, so it's actually pretty cheap to buy them out as well.
Right.
That's like the four core reasons actually why we argued in favor of M&A strategy.
Okay. So the problem with that
Mm-hmm.
is that there was a company called Compact Enterprises.
Okay.
And they did the exact same thing. They bought a bunch of companies
Okay.
and, acquiring expertise, acquiring, all the things that the companies gave them in terms of like branding and all that. But the problem is that the way that Indonesian law works, they can hide a lot of problems with their companies. So when you acquire the companies, you're also acquiring a bunch of problems that you didn't foresee. They don't have to be very transparent with the way that they run their business. So what happened with Compact was exactly that. They acquired a bunch of companies, and now they're just raw with lawsuits. So obviously that's not a good strategy for A&M, or I don't want to see that happen to A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So the strategy that I would suggest is more of like a slow burn, like slow growth in Indonesia, and growing our company, and having a team on the ground in Indonesia to help that happen is the better way to go rather than acquiring.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you have any other data on, like, for instance, how long it would take for us to get like a reasonable market share if we use organic one?
I don't. There are no numbers.
Okay, interesting. But I think it's regardless very interesting.
Yeah.
I
think it's a risk mitigation strategy, I guess is the way I'm putting it. Like I've seen the way that it's happened in the past when somebody's tried to use that strategy and it didn't work out for them at all.
You think there's any way, like, if you would still push for the M&A? Imagine we're going to meet our CEO, right? And he's still like really in favor of the M&A because of other reasons. Is there any way we could mitigate this risk of being stuck in lawsuits? For instance.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. For me, it's just the knowing the culture is what's really important, rather than having the companies in our portfolio. And what I mean by that is if you go there and you grow a company from you grow the company without acquiring. Knowing about the shared identity that all the Indonesians feel, there's a national language that they all share, and like
you speak it, right?
I do speak it. So like knowing how to brand those consumers, knowing the culture, and I think is the way to go.
Okay, I have a suggestion.
Sure.
So we talked about meeting the CEO in I'm not sure, I think it's in a couple of days already actually. Would you mind having like a brainstorming session again with the due diligence team, maybe tomorrow?
Yes.
And we can go through everything again, and then we can see if the M&A is best with, maybe if we can see if we can mitigate this one, or if we change tech and go for it. And then we can go and meet the CEO together and go present our strategy.
Perfect.
Yeah? All right, perfect. So let's do that, and then we can also put on the agenda with the CEO the point of view moving to Singapore to Indonesia and joining our team.
Perfect.
Great, happy to have you there.
Yeah.